Want to welcome everybody to Spiritual Living Center this afternoon. We're all blessed to be together. Blessed on this day of a little bit of liquid sunshine. My name is Gwen Hughes. I am subbing for the amazing Penelope Williams. And we're so grateful that you're here. Join me if you feel like it. We have come here. We have come here to love one another. We have come here to let our love grow. We are family, we're here all together. We carry this love everywhere that we go. We have come here to love one another. We have come here to let our love grow. We are family, we're here all together. We carry this love everywhere that we go. We carry this love. Carry this love everywhere that we go. We carry this love. We carry this love everywhere that we go. One more time. We have come here to love one another. We have come here to let our love grow. We are family, we're here all together. We carry this love everywhere that we go. I could hear that you were singing, yeah. You guys know this one. We are grateful. I am grateful for this day, for the love we share, yeah, the life we make, and I give thanks for all the many ways that the love of God appears. I am grateful for this day, for the love we share, the life we make, and I give thanks for all the many ways that the love of God appears. I am grateful for this day, for the love we share, the life we make, and I give thanks for all the many ways that the love of God appears. I am grateful for this day, for the love we share, the life we make, and I give thanks for all the many ways that the love of God appears. Yes, the love of God is here.
Beautiful. Good afternoon, everybody. Good to see you all. Welcome to Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta. I'm David Alexander, Spiritual Director here. My pronouns are he and his. And the amazing Reverend Jean Bell is going to be delivering our message today, closing out our series on Embracing Imperfection. We want to welcome everybody watching online on Facebook and YouTube. Thank you so much. Be sure to say hello and where you're tuning in from today so that we can acknowledge you a little bit later on. We have practitioners online as well to acknowledge and hold space for you. We're grateful that you're here today. We're part of a global community called Centers for Spiritual Living, and we invite you to check out all the information about us and what we believe and what we're up to via our website, SLCA.com. In the meantime, let's close out this series one more time, our affirmation for this Embracing Imperfection series, and then we will get on to all the announcements and everything else in the service today. Today, I release the need to be perfect in any way. I know that I am worthy of love and acceptance just as I am. I embrace the beauty of my divine imperfections, knowing each one tells a story of strength, character, and courage. Let's take a deep breath and let's affirm that together. Today, I release the need to be perfect in any way. I know that I am worthy of love and acceptance just as I am. I embrace the beauty of my divine imperfections, knowing each one tells a story of strength, character, and courage. And so it is. And so we are. And the news of all the news that's fit to print. Mallie LePete.
Hello, all my summer puddles of rain. I'm Mallie LePete. My pronouns are she and her, and I gladly serve here on the Creative Arts team at the Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta. I have a couple of announcements. We have so many great opportunities to connect, grow, serve, and give right here at SLCA. For more information about today's announcements and other opportunities, scan the QR code found on the monitor. During our 5 o'clock hour, Reverend Dr. David will continue a 10-part, 10 core concepts of the Science of Mind series during our New Thought Education Workshop Hour. Reverend David invites you to explore how these concepts can change your life. Are you ready to tune out the fear and tune in the vision? If you haven't done so yet, take out your phone right now and text the word JOIN to that phone number, 470-784-0250, and start receiving mindful messages each and every morning from faith leaders around the country. The first message went out this morning. You might have recognized the guy, Michael Bernard Beckwith. These messages will continue each day, leading us to the election, and will be the beginning of great things to come from our new Mindset Reset ministry. As part of our Mindset Reset ministry, we will begin a Tune In Tuesday Zoom call every Tuesday beginning on August 6th. For your convenience, we will offer 3 sessions every Tuesday. For more information and to register, visit myelectionintention.com. It's happening. As our community grows, we're looking for those willing to volunteer. Please consider donating 1 Sunday a month and serve on one of our many SLCA teams. We're especially looking for those to join our hospitality team. Do you know what happens when you join our hospitality team? You get to know people. You get to say, oh, you came back. I'm glad to see you again. It feels so good. So talk to Shannon about all that, or you can see me. Next Sunday, August 4th, is our monthly potluck and Bring a Friend Sunday. If you have been considering inviting your friends and introducing them to our Sunday experience, now's the time. We are excited to meet your friends and welcome them to the SLCA family as we share great food and amazing fellowship following the service. This is where you can look in the pot and say, oh, who made this? And then you get to know somebody. That's kind of like a hospitality team thing. Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us today. We look forward to visiting with you in our social hall for food and fellowship after the service. You belong.
Don't you know that I am holding you? There I am in each breath you take, and my arms are everywhere you are. I will carry you. I will stand this test of time for you. Feel me loving you. I am the rock. I am your place of salvation. I am your strength. I'm the hand that you hold on to. I'm the voice that is always saying, I will give you rest. I will give you rest. is real is that I'm only one, and my arms are everywhere you are. I have carried you, I have stood this test of time for you. Feel me loving you. I am the rock, I am your place of salvation. I am your strength, I am the hand that you hold on to. I'm the voice that is always saying, I will give you rest. I will give you rest. All ye heavy laden, come. All ye heavy laden, I will give you rest. All ye heavy laden, come. All ye heavy laden, I will give you rest. God's the rock, God's your place of salvation. God's your strength, God's the hand that you hold on to. God's the voice that is always saying, I will give you rest. Yes, I will give you rest. Open your mind, unfold your heart, relax your senses, feel every part. You ain't got a thing to fear. Looks like love is growing here. Take your guard and let it down. Go deeper still until you come unwound. Unbound. Breathe every breath. Release your cringe. Love without waiting. Slowly unhinge. You ain't got a thing to fear. Looks like love is growing here. Take your guard and let it down. Go deeper still until you come unwound.
The Spirit of the Almighty One is right here, right now. It is the allness of life. It created itself out of itself, and from it flows me, you, everyone and everything, perfect, divine emanations of our Creator. And so in this space, in this moment now, I feel the energy of love that permeates the room, that permeates our global space, that lets me know that which I call the one, the all, God, is everywhere present, doing its perfect work, using us for the glorification of its kingdom. We are all a part of that. And while I was waiting for the answer, I discovered that the answer is me. The answer is you. And so we step into the unfoldment of this moment with our perfect love, our perfect pure consciousness. And we allow the divine presence to be made known through our voices, through our actions, through our communal gatherings, of which this is one today. The Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta is a divine communal gathering of the one. And so I give thanks for this place. I give thanks for all the teachers, the ministers, the practitioners, the musicians, the technical staff, and those of you who fill the seats in presence or in absentia. We know you are one with us. And in this gratitude, I release this prayer. I send it forth into the immutable law, knowing that it has already been answered. And so I ask that we anchor what has been affirmed together as we say, and so it is.
Yes.
Thank you.
You can stop waiting for love to find you. Look inside your heart. Love's already who you are. So lift up your voice. Let it be heard. Tell me a story. Don't leave out a word. 'Cause I think I've been there too. I'm a seeker just like you. You ain't got a thing to fear. Looks like love is growing here. So take your guard and let it down. Go deeper still until you come unwound. Unbound.
Thank you, Baji, for that beautiful prayer. Now is a time for our love and offerings and circulation. It's an opportunity to be in the giving and receiving in our community. We're grateful for the over 120 people who pledge automatically and have that come out of their bank accounts on a regular basis. Thank you so much. We have pledge. I forgot to get one, but we have cards like this. If you have one of those, you can get one of these on your way in, or get it from an usher to put in the basket as you go by. And we thank you for that. If you want to join that community, it's really easy to do. You can text to our phone number what is our phone number? Our text to give phone number. It'll be on the slide in a moment, along with the, there we go, 404-800-9460. or simply scan the QR code or go to the website. This is an opportunity to be not only in the spirit of giving, but also in the spirit of receiving. So as we prepare our hearts to give, we also prepare our minds to receive through the story and the impact that your gift is having. We're doing that through our testimonial. So for today's testimony, let's welcome Reverend Susan Zoller.
Gandhi said, all roads lead to God, and that is true. Religious science is not the only answer. However, it is the answer that helped me truly change my life for the greater, and for that I'm eternally grateful and eternally a supporter of this center, financially, emotionally, spiritually, and with my physical time and my efforts. There is so much in the world today to be afraid of, but we don't have to be afraid. Yes, we feel fear once in a while, but the things that you can learn at this center will change your life and change your perspective. It did mine. When I came here, I was angry. I was in the middle of an eating disorder. I was frustrated about a lot of things, and I was in an unhealthy relationship. And I started praying about this, and I thought, well, I didn't pray for this to happen, this or that or the other. I didn't pray for my relationship to end, my job to change, all those things, but they did, and it was great. Don't be afraid if things change around you, because that means prayer is working, and I can guarantee you it does. Come to this center, learn the principles of what we teach and apply them. You can't just listen and say, great idea. Apply them, and your life will change. And about money, don't be afraid. I was a teacher. I can remember once having someone come to my house. We didn't get paid that much at the time, and stopping to buy a roll of toilet paper because someone was coming over till my check came in. I made some goals with a friend of mine who was doing very, very well in her profession. And she mentioned that she and her husband were doing this, and I thought, oh, it can't hurt. And I made a goal. And I've long surpassed that goal. I didn't try to make it happen. I used my brain, but it happened. And I believe fully that it came from my faith and conviction of being here. We are in the right place, at the right time, doing the right things to change this world for greater good. Reverend David and Reverend Jean, all the practitioners, and you, we are in the right place, right here, right now. And what we have to offer to you is far more valuable than gold. And I think it can change the world and make a better place. After all, I know some people who are very upset about the election, the way it was going. And I said, well, don't be afraid. I'll pray. And as soon as Biden resigned, I called my friend Deb and said, I am personally responsible for this. Prayer works. Don't ever doubt it. So I invite you to know that you can give, even if it's $5. As Kamala Harris said yesterday on something I saw, every $5 helps fund something. We come here in a beautiful place with fabulous things to share here. I can tell you that our being able to be here and continue as a center comes from the hard work of our staff, especially Reverend Jean and our executive director, Shannon. Don't think that because it looks so nice that it could not go away. That's true. I'm not afraid. I'm doing my part to support this. Do your part, because we could actually have not have a place like this to come to. But we do, and let's keep it. I invite you to give what you can, and the more you give, you cannot outgive God. It will come back to you multiplied abundantly. So I invite you to join with me in saying our offering affirmation. I live in a universe of abundance as I freely and joyfully share. I join in the divine flow, and all that I share with my returns to me multiplied abundantly, and so it is.
Amen. Sometimes I forget where I come from. Sometimes I forget where I'm going to. Sometimes I get so confused I lose my way. Sometimes I don't know how to pray. Then I remember there is nowhere that God is not. No, no, no. There is nowhere that God is not. There is nowhere that God is not. No, no, no. 'Cause everywhere I am, I know what I've got. Sometimes I believe in what I see. Sometimes I believe in what I perceive. Sometimes I get so confused I lose my way. Sometimes I don't know what to say. Then I remember there is nowhere that God is not. No, no, no. There is nowhere that God is not. No, yeah, yeah. There is nowhere that God is not. 'Cause everywhere I am, I know what I've got. I forget to pray, forget to be still and know, forget to forgive myself until I forgave myself. Forgot to ask for help, I forget to say a word. Forget to believe in me, believe in my spirit's word. Not, 'cause everywhere I am, I know what I've got. There is nowhere that God is not. No, no, no. Everywhere I am, everywhere I am, everywhere I am, I know what I've got.
Well, this is our time to bless this offering. And for all those that give online or that pledge electronically, let's just turn within and know that this abundance is an abundance of love, of all of Spirit's divine attributes. It helps us to continue our mission and our vision and our purpose, to open up hearts and minds to their true, authentic selves. For truly, the Spirit of living God is a divine idea in everyone's heart and everyone's being. We bless this giving, this offering, and we bless everyone that has opened up their hearts and their pocketbooks to give to our center, to make this idea continue to go forth out into the world. And so it is. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. As Reverend David told you, I'm Reverend Jean Bell. My pronouns are she and her, and if you're just joining us, welcome. We're going to continue to wrap up this month's theme of embracing imperfection. You know, this week I want us to look at earthly perfectionism, and I want to compare that to spiritual perfection. You know, we can discover the freedom that comes from embracing perfection, embracing who we are, right here and right now. And understand that the human concept of perfectionism keeps us from living and loving from a place of authenticity and embracing our true spiritual nature. So, I like to tell stories, and I'm going to tell you one. Many years ago, I worked as a senior auditor for an inspector general agency. We actually audited the IRS. Yeah, we did that. A lot of people say, what? There's such an agency? Yes, we were all over there. But it's a good thing. And I don't want to vilify the IRS. They're only doing what Congress has told them to do. So, one year, we had our continuing professional education forum, and it was just for the Office of Audit. So in our Inspector General, we had many different agencies and divisions. And so that particular year, the entire Office of Audit nationwide descended upon Atlanta. And my director asked my manager to ask me to organize the lunch and dinner activities and one fun event that the whole group could participate in. And I'm like, okay, why did he call directly? Chicken. All right, so now, you know my peers from all over the country are going to be there, right? So no pressure. And not just the peers, their managers, their directors, and their executives, the Assistant Inspector General for Audit. I'm like, dang, dude, that's a lot. So it's about 40 people. So I began contacting all the different restaurants in the area close to our building so we can walk there for lunch. And then in the evening, I knew, some restaurants around town that we all could drive to. And I figured, what would be a fun event to do? Top golf. So I called them and arranged to get a couple of lanes just for us. So I got everything planned, right? So it was about 40 or 50 people, I don't really remember. And I really began to understand the idiom, herding cats. So much better. All right, the lunchtime thing, we're all walking. Can you imagine 25, 30 people walking to lunch together, right? I'm like, okay, we got to be there, and we got to be back at such and such a time, blah, 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 and all this. Come on, let's go. Look, I never saw that before. I was like, Jesus. Whew. And on the final day, like I said, we did the Top Golf thing. And I wanted everything to be perfect, because I was into that perfectionism thing, I wanted everything to be perfect. But other human beings were involved. So, how perfect could it really be? And I had to work out some kinks, the restaurant and the staff, even though I called ahead of time and say, this is how many, because not all 40 or 50 people wanted to eat certain things. So I made sure I got the head count for that day. 25, okay, the next day, 30, okay, this is how many are coming. Make sure the table, yes, Miss Bell, we got everything ready for you. I'm like, okay, we're coming. Sure enough, we get there. We don't have enough chairs. We don't have enough tables. I'm like, okay, but it all worked out. It all worked out. Bumps along the way. So, for the dinner events, it was even better. I gave them the address, right? Now, I'm trying to figure out, okay, this group's in this hotel, this group's in that hotel. I don't have to worry about the in-town people because they know Atlanta. I don't have to worry about them. So they know how to get to the different restaurants. So I send out the name of the restaurant, the address of the restaurant, the phone number to the restaurant, my phone number. Text me if you get lost. They got lost. And this is in the time where we have GPS, so I'm not sure. Yeah, it was cats. But anyway, on the final day, there was maybe 20 people decided that they wanted to do Topgolf. All right, so I had enough lanes and everything. And so, needless to say, it was a stressful week for me, right? I even had to give a presentation, a continuing education presentation. So on top of that, I had to know my stuff. All right, so I'm stressed, and I'm like, I'm going to hit this ball over in Marietta somewhere. And the first swing, I must say, was pretty impressive. I did really good. It went pretty far. So the next time I was up for the swing, I'm thinking, I'm going to hit this at the back of the gate, right? So I take my time. I cue up. I'm like feeling that stress. Oh, I'm going to knock it out, right? And I swing the club, and I missed. But the momentum of the force from my swing kept me going. And I found myself being lifted up in the air. And then I'm falling on my back. And I fell on my back so hard, all the air came out of my body. And I'm like, everybody ran. The AGA, the Assistant Inspector General, my director, all my teammates, all ran over. They're kneeling down. They're like, and my eyes are closed because I just couldn't believe I just did that. And I can't breathe. And so when I finally opened my eyes and I looked up and everybody's standing over me, looking at me in terror. Did she break something? Is she alive? Is she going to be okay? And they looked so scared, and I started laughing. I started laughing so hard, and then finally they were like, oh, she's fine, right? And they started laughing, and we're all on the ground, crying, roaring, laughing. Let me tell you, that one imperfect moment, that one mistake, did more for our team building than all the team bond building things that we had done all week long. We were like little kids just hollering at silly old me falling on my chops. So eventually they helped me up and they dusted me off. They made sure that nothing really was broken, and we giggled about it all night. I got free beer all night. I got slaps on the back all night. They were like, girl, if we only had our cameras out, you would have went viral. I was so glad they didn't have their cameras out. But it was fun, right? And I learned so long ago to laugh at myself, that I'm going to make mistakes, no matter how perfect I may try to be. And that life sometimes is lifing. I gave them also the permission to do the same, to laugh at me by laughing at myself. So, you know, I thought about that moment, and I know they probably would have wanted to laugh at me anyway, but that's okay. I didn't allow my falling on my back to paralyze me or keep me in shame or be embarrassed. I learned that you can laugh at your mistakes. Now that is not to say that there are things in life that needs accuracy and precision. That's not to say that we go through life, flippantly, because there's nurses in the house, right? There's doctors in the house. They know what it means to make sure that things are done properly. But things do happen, and you correct your mistakes, and you learn from them. But you don't allow them to paralyze you and to keep you stuck in a sense of, I have to be perfect, right? No, perfectionism, it stifles our ability to move forward. I've met so many people, and they don't move forward in their lives because they are afraid of making mistakes, afraid they might fail, or they are afraid that they might be embarrassed, or worry about what other people might think about them. I told a friend of mine that I really don't give I don't care what people think about me. Of course I want people to think kindly of me. But people are going to think what they want to think anyway. So what I need to do is to do my best. And that's not being a perfectionist. It's unfortunate to find that so many people live their whole lives waiting for the perfect moment, or for the perfect conditions, or for the perfect person or persons, or for the perfect job, and then just don't do anything. And what does perfect look like anyway? Most of the time, our idea of what perfect looks like is society's definition of perfection, or our own self-imposed ideas, or sometimes the ideas passed down to us by our parents and caregivers. And then, even in our own philosophy, we hear the word perfection tossed around, and it just reinforces the self-imposed ideas of having to be perfect. Yet when we're talking about spiritual perfection, do we really have a true understanding of what that means compared to the human concept of perfectionism? When we don't have a clear understanding of the difference between the two, it can cause us not to seek out the help that we need to have better health or a better life in general, because we feel ashamed or embarrassed that we're not so-called perfect. I can't ask for an affirmative prayer. I might be judged for not being able to heal or manifest for myself. They might ask, what's in my consciousness that brought this about? You know, Ernest Holmes, the founder of religious science and the science of mind philosophy, said, humankind is potentially perfect, but free will and self-choice cause them to appear imperfect. The spiritual person is perfect, but their individual use of life and the law enables them to cover a perfect idea in an apparent imperfect cloak. Holmes' many references of the spiritually perfect person is in relationship to the indwelling spiritual nature of our being and our spiritual potential. He knew that trial and error is a part of our human experience. Children know that. Scientists and cooks know that. He was pointing us towards our indwelling nature, which is the divine spark which we all possess, not our human need for perfectionism. We are to remember that the choice of our embodiment of the divine nature is always up to us, hence the imperfect cloak. He said that the divine incarnation is inherent in our nature. Inherent means existing as an inseparable part of who we are. It's intrinsic. The question then becomes, how much of this reality with a capital R are we going to express in our lives? Our spiritual potential is inherent possibility. And the science of mind philosophy guides us to look deeper in our relationship with this universal power, which is the very source of our innate spiritual potential. We are always at choice as to whether we expand our consciousness to our spiritual potential of unity, wholeness, and well-being with that one perfect presence through a deeper understanding of our relationship with it. Holmes knew that each of us, each person has a divine spark, and that the real person with a capital R is an individualization of the one spirit. He also knew that if we are limited It is not by spiritual principle, but our own inability to see more of our innate potential and the divine ideal. Holmes was not talking about the concept of earthly perfectionism, which is in and of itself rooted in a concept of lack and want. His words were meant to wake us up from the sleep of the paradigm of human collective consciousness. For he knew that for far too long, humankind had forgotten their divine connection and has been walking around in a self-imposed funk of separation. Now is the time to rethink the old adage, practice makes perfect. Practice makes you skillful. Practice provides knowledge and information. Practice is useful in honing your skills and a craft. However, we should never make perfection in and of itself our goal. You see, we can get caught up in the methodology of when we do that, we lose sight of the experience we're practicing for. We lose sight of the beauty and possibilities available to us. When we do our spiritual practices, we do them to align ourselves with the divine within us that is perfect, not to monitor whether we're breathing in a perfect way, not to monitor whether our mudras are correct, because I can never get them correct, right? Not if we're sitting in a perfect lotus position, and then, you get that crook in your back, or whether our affirmative prayer is in the right order, or did we use all 5 steps? No, we have practiced to experience the love and the joy and the peace and the wholeness and the perfection of the divine I am within us. Not practicing to be perfect in form, but practice to be perfect in love, perfect in alignment, perfect in connection. Ernest tells us the way to proceed is to begin right where we are. He didn't say proceed when you get it perfect in your finite understanding of the word, but to embrace who you are right now as we move through our spiritual journey of this thing called life. Brené Brown, in her book, The Gifts of Imperfection, and if you haven't read it, it is a must read. She said perfectionism is not the same as striving to be your best. Perfectionism is the belief that if we live perfect, look perfect, and act perfect, we can minimize or avoid the pain of blame, judgment, and shame. It's a shield. Perfectionism is at its core about trying to earn approval and acceptance. When Ernest Holmes mentioned over 50 times in the Science of Mind book the word perfect, and it was over 50, I got tired of counting. He wasn't referring to perfectionism as Brené just described it, where she said perfectionism is at its core about trying to earn approval and acceptance. No, he was conveying to us that the love and law of God is perfect, that the Spirit of the living God is complete, whole, and lacking in nothing. And our divine nature is perfect. And as we come more and more into alignment with the divine presence within us, we experience Spirit's love and allow its perfect law to work through and for us. So, in closing, as we walk in our human incarnation, let's practice more compassion for ourselves and others. Let's laugh more when we swing and miss. When I was a kid, I used to get teased about how big my nose was. If your nose is a bit so-called imperfect, embrace it. I have. I just, put a little makeup on that contour, Or if your body is not runway or GQ ready, walk the runway anyway and pose for the camera one time. Just pose for the camera one time. Let's start today embracing our human selves and know that we are so much more than this body, and simply let go of earthly perfectionism and raise our consciousness to remember our true spiritual nature, which is always whole, perfect, and complete. And so it is. Will the practitioners please come forth? And let's take this moment now to know that our spiritual perfectionism, if you will, perfect, whatever you want to call it, is our innate beingness. We're going to make mistakes in this human incarnation. We're going to fall and we're going to trip. And we're going to do all manners of things that give us the opportunity to know better and to do better. So turn within and know right here in this now moment that the Spirit of the Divine is our true selves. That spark that can never be desecrated. It can never be violated. It is always whole, perfect, and complete. And let us embrace that, knowing that as we go within and we allow it to come out, we shine all of its divine attributes, which is love, peace, strength, wisdom, joy. It's grace. We have this innately within ourselves. Embrace those attributes and know that you are the light of the world, always. These practitioners are here to receive your prayer. And we do have a prayer request, and I ask you to join with me in knowing a greater truth for and about CJ, our technician and our DJ, knowing that his hand is healing, mending, that even though it is broken, there are things, divine intelligence taking place in his hand right now that knows what to do and is doing it. And we send that healing energy towards our beloved CJ, knowing that Spirit's energy is in it all. And so with that, I release this into the law, for it always does its right and perfect work. And I want you to join me in saying, and so it is. Thank you, everyone.
Want to remind everyone that we have food and fellowship downstairs. Please join us right after service. We envision a world that works for everyone and for all of creation. We see a people, all beings as expressions of God. We see a world that works for everyone. We envision a world that works for everyone and for all of creation. We see all people, all beings as expressions of God. We see a world that works for everyone. We envision a world that works for everyone and for all of creation. We see a people, all beings as expressions of God. We see a world that works for everyone. We see a world that works for everyone.